So if I could really sum up today's episode, it would be one word: pathetic. Pathetic. And I'm going to tell you why. So let's get into it, guys. Welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Daysofourlives, February 26th, 2026. Now, start off with Tate and Rachel. They're having a little brother and sister time because Brady is apparently out helping Steve to find Stephanie. Now, he is having this one-on-one checkers game. Rachel is kicking his butt and he's distracted with what's been going on with him and Holly, and he's also worried about Stephanie as well. Rachel is happy that he's there spending time with her, and they're just bonding. So at some point Holly comes in and Holly says hello to her, and Holly wants to come over there to say sorry to Tate. And Rachel, being the little nosy sister, she's asking, hey, what are you sorry for? So Tate had to step in and said, you know what, it's time for your bedtime, it's 15 minutes past. And she of course is trying to work her way out of it, just like her mother would, asking about, hey, you promised that we would do poker. And Tate said, you know what, tomorrow we'll do that. Now go in, get changed for bed, get ready for bed, and I'll give you your meds at some point. Pauline and Abe were also trying to find out where Stephanie could have been. Abe was looking over the map out of the city and trying to find out where Jeremy could have taken Stephanie allegedly. And they talk about Jada trying to assist in any way further, and they just connect on how it was them the other month with Theo being kidnapped. And of course they can really relate to what Steve and Kayla are going through. Now Abe and Theo comes in and he tells them that he has some good news to share with them. Of course, they could use some good news after what's really going on. So he tells them that the neurologist said that he's cleared to go back to work and drive and do all the normal activities. And Abe is like, including working back to the mirror. And he said, I know that you don't like that I'm working there, but that's just where I want to be. And of course, they're against it, even Paulina, because of what happened to him. And Abe is just angry. He just storms out. So he's like, maybe I should have just, left it at the fact that the neurologist cleared me, but I didn't know this would be very upsetting to him. And Paulina's saying that it's a lot going on, especially with Stephanie being missing, and he didn't know that. And he asked like, who could have done this? And he said Jeremy Horton. So he's like flabbergasted, and he's like, did they actually try checking the hospital? And Paulina said they have scrubbed the whole hospital floors and surroundings. No trace of her. The only surveillance footage is her coming in the hospital, not out. So anyways, at some point Abe does come back, and Paulina asks if the walk did him some good, and he said yes. So we'll get into the reason why he's feeling a lot better after that stormy exit that he did. Now, Abe goes over to EJ because he can't allow his son to just make grown man decisions. He has to intervene and treat the man like a child, which is definitely going to upset Theo when he finds out about it. So he goes over to EJ to, of course, talk to him about letting Johnny stay in a CEO and taking Theo out of this, because he doesn't want Theo involved in an organization that is risky to him, that's gonna harm him, that he's gonna be sacrificing his life for at the end of the day. So EJ understands that, and EJ, at the end of the day, it benefits EJ because he wanted his son to take over the family company. And even though he has been having his hands off it, Rita has definitely been involved and has said that Johnny really likes the in and out of the company and really doing well there. So he just said that he's going to come up with a plan, and Abe wanted to know, but he said the less you know, the better it is. So he doesn't feel comfortable on signing off on this as long as it's not harming Theo physically or emotionally, and EJ agrees with that as well. Again, this is pathetic because Abe can't allow Theo to make his own mistake. Yes, I get that you're worried about what he went through and it was devastating, but at the same time, if Theo wants to risk his life and come back to being the Mirror CEO, then let him. He's an adult. Yes, you're a parent, but you can't protect your kids from everything. You can't save them from anything. And even if you warn them, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Like, he has to learn the consequences. If he didn't learn from that disappearance act, then I don't know what else will. Holly apologized to, well, they talked briefly about what was happening with Stephanie, and she was asking Tate any news. I heard your dad, he said that, his dad is going out there to help Steve, and she's feeling bad about it, but it made her think about just treating people better and not taking advantage of them, especially with what has happened to Stephanie. So she apologized to Tate, and she doesn't understand if he could ever forgive her for her actions. And he said, look, there's nothing to forgive, and she's sorry that she was acting crazy. And he said it's best to not use this word, considering everything. And she said, I didn't even think about Rachel. I'm sorry about that. But I guess I'm just overly tired and everything. I don't know how to explain it, but it's no excuse for my behavior. So she apologized to Tate. Tate forgives her, and they made up. And yeah, that was really it. There's nothing more to this thing. Now, while that's happening, Rachel is getting ready for bed. She keeps getting calls from Sophia. She's dodging it. At some point, she eventually picks up and she's like, hello. And, Sophia's like, I've been trying to call you. And, Rachel said that she was at the bathroom. She made that up. But anyways, she's saying that, I miss you. I know you're out of Bayview. How's that going? She said she's enjoying it. And she said, I miss you. I know, we had a great time here and I need a favor from you. So she said, I don't think this is a good idea because I don't want to get in trouble. So she said, it's no trouble at all. It would be for a good reason. And I just want a little favor to, give these vitamins to Holly. So I don't want her to know that it's coming from me. And of course, Rachel, being a smart little girl she is, she's saying, why don't you give it to her yourself? If you're wanting making amends with her, you want to be friends back with her, do that yourself. So she said, no, it just wouldn't work out that way. And I mean, we're still not really on very good terms, and I just don't want her to, get involved with that at all. So would you do it? So she didn't get to say yes or no at this point, and she was really hesitant because she don't know where this will lead, and she's asking all the right questions like, why don't you do it yourself? Why can't she know about this? And it's just not sounding good. So Tate comes in and she has the phone, and he's like, who are you talking to? So she said to her pet snake or the toy snake, and saying goodnight to him or whatever. And then he took the snake and she came out to the hallway. Sophia's hearing their conversation and swooning over Tate again. And she goes into the hallway to see if Tate is distracted, and he was definitely distracted by kissing Holly, and she was gagging. And she comes back in and she said, she said to Sophia that, Sophia asked if that was Tate, and she said yes. And he's definitely busy with Holly kissing, and, it's just really cringe. And of course, Sophia hung up the phone because she don't want to hear that at all. But Lord, was it just really pathetic? This girl just trying to ruin Holly's life, and she want what she can't have. It is just pathetic. Now, there was a conversation with Susan and EJ. Susan came in to EJ ranting about how, whoever was on the phone with him, he was, angry at him or her, demanding that, they make sure that Stephanie is found before they keep snooping around his lab because it's messing up his business. So he's angry at that, and Susan is like, I could hear you from upstairs. Like, what's going on? So he tells her that Stephanie's been missing. So she's not really surprised. She's surprised, but not surprised, because she did have a premonition about it months ago on Halloween when Stephanie's novel was released. And, she did tell Stephanie and other people that the same fate that happened to the author in the novel might happen to the author in real life. So it's like art imitating life, or whatever way you want to see that. So she is saying to EJ that, is there any leads or anything like that? So he said no. So at this point, he asks his mom if she can, work her little psychedelic whatever she does, and like see if she can see where Stephanie's hiding out at. And she said, I can't feel nothing now, but if I do, I'll let you know. So she sees that At some point, EJ does have on his father's ring, and she's feeling the essence of Stefano. And she said that you are Stefano's son, but you're not the Phoenix, and I don't want nothing to happen to you, right? Of course, EJ doesn't feel that way, but just, we know that this is going to be a storyline soon, so just watch out for that. Now, this scene was also pathetic to me because, all right, let's start from the beginning. Now, Chanel is worried that she's not getting any word from Johnny, no call back from Johnny. Johnny comes in. She's like, where have you been? I've been trying to call you, text you. You haven't been answering. So he says, sorry about that. I've been busy at the company today. I've been in a lot of meetings. I couldn't check my phone. What's really going on? So she says nothing about me or the baby, but Stephanie is missing, and he's surprised to hear that, and he feels so bad about his uncle and aunt, and he asks her if there's any leads. So she said not really. At some point she did get a call from Paulina. She's asking for updates. Nothing much. Now she shares what happened with her at the doctor's appointment, shares the recording of the heartbeat with him, and he's happy, and she's glad that he's come around. He said, I've always been around. I just was worried about what it might do to you or your health. And she told him that even though the cancer might still come around, it's very slim chances, and regardless, I just wanted to be happy about this pregnancy. So at some point she sees EJ's gift still on the table, and she's like, what is it still doing here? So he said that he just hasn't gotten around to disposing of it, and she's saying you need to send it back to him, send a message. And he said, why not just throw it out? She said he won't understand to just leave us alone. So he said, okay, I'll take care of it. So earlier also he did tell her that he is leaving the mirror. Theo is cleared to work back there, and she's happy because she didn't want him working there because of the high stress and EJ working his way back into his life. And he said that doesn't happen, and even though I was there, he didn't really bother me. So she said she's happy to hear that, but she'll be glad when he officially leaves. And she asks when will he be leaving, and he said maybe a week or two. So she's just counting down the days for him to come back to normalcy. Again, I don't see why Chanel has this much control over her husband, because if you want to have a relationship with your father outside of your marriage, you're entitled to. Why you can't stand up for your wife? Now the cup, he gotta give a cup as a gift for Trey from his dad, and he ends up keeping it, putting it in his briefcase, and trying to dispose the box so that Chanel doesn't find it. But this is just stupid and pathetic. Like, you are a grown-ass man, you can stand up to your wife. If you want to have a relationship with your father or vice versa, Chanel shouldn't have a problem with that. She should just mind her business, stay out of it, and you don't have to be around EJ. You personally don't have to be around EJ, but allow your husband to have that relationship with him. If he wants to, he should be able to. Stop trying to control him and every little thing. It's so annoying. I'll be glad when the day they do leave, because they're not doing it for me no more. Them having a baby is not exciting for me anymore. They need to just wrap it up and go. Holly and Tate as well. I'm just happy that they're all going, honestly. But let me know in the comments below your thoughts, guys. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys tomorrow.